And for this one, you actually don't need to know even the serous versus mucus acini. You just need to be able to identify this as submandibular or submaxillary gland. All right? Any questions? This is pretty straightforward. Pancreas is going to be really similar. So with the pancreas slide, you're just going to be responsible for knowing that it's pancreas. Let's see if I can get to a better plot. With the pancreas, I would recommend reviewing it just because there are a few different slices and stains of pancreas, so it's never a bad idea to just review it so that you're not caught off guard by a slide that you haven't seen before, because as you see, this is kind of different than the one I had been showing previously. That actually kind of looked more like the liver, okay? So with this one, the only thing you'll need to know is serous acini, which is just everything but islets of Langerhans. So basically, if you were to point to anything but the islets of Langerhans, be serous acini. That's all you need to know for this one, is that it's the pancreas and the serous acini. And again, since we have some time today, I definitely recommend calling out all three of these glandular tissues and making sure that you're comfortable telling them apart, because they do look similar enough that you could easily confuse them on fractum. All right, next we'll do the lung. And we have seen slides of the lung before, because this is the one that I used as a simple squamous epithelium example, and it even showed up on the practicum for a simple squamous epithelium. Actually, this is good. Okay, so this is actually a really good cut. I'm going to move around a little bit, and I'll explain why in a second. So within this, the lungs, basically you're just going to be identifying different levels of organization. So as it's listed on your manual, it starts at the highest level of organization with the bronchioles, works its way down to the lowest level with the alveoli, all right? Singular and alveoli is an alveolus, okay? So multiple would be alveoli. For the practicum, I would accept alveolus or alveoli, all right, just because it's kind of written incorrectly on the manual. But I'm going to start from the simplest level of organization and actually work my way up in my explanation. So an alveoli is a single circular pouch of gas exchange, okay? So when we identify that on the slides, we're looking essentially just for a complete circle. So this would be an alveolus, another one there, a smaller one here, another one here. So it's basically you're just looking for a complete circle, okay? Versus an alveolar sac, which is actually a grouping of alveoli. So when you see those, it kind of looks like a cloud shape. So if you look here, you can see there's the cloud shape. This is actually a cut of a whole bunch of alveoli. And when you do that cross-sectional cut, you get something that looks like a cloud. So the larger ones look like clouds are the alveolar sacs. The individual circles, alveolus. All right? Now I'm stopped on this view because I want to draw your attention to this giant structure here and this one up here. So you'll notice that the outer walls of these look pretty different, right? This one's very smooth. It's stained a little bit differently. This one is kind of wavy and more purple in opposed to pink when it stains. This is the bronchiole, okay? Bronchioles are like known for having this wavy outline. I'm actually going to find even a better one that shows like how wavy this is. So when you see that wavy tissue, that's how you know it's a bronchiole. I'm telling you this more so that you know it for the exam, because we wouldn't actually test you on this. I'd have to zoom in to make sure I'm like correct on this, but I'm pretty sure that's an artery, okay? This pink inside's kind of throwing me off, but that's more like an artery. You wouldn't be asking like that. This is what you're looking for when you're looking under the microscope, okay? So if you find arteries, that's great. Try to identify it, but you're only supposed to be looking for bronchioles in this slide.
So like if it's like kind of smooth on the inside, it's an artery, if it's kind of rigid, it's...
Exactly, yeah, so you're kind of looking for that wavy look. And I'll kind of pan around so you can see this guy a little bit bigger too. There you go, so you see how the edges are nice and wavy? That's what you're going to be looking for. Whereas if we come over here, not so wavy, right? I'm pretty sure that's an artery. There's some stuff in this, it's kind of weird. Come over here, see that wavy outline there? This one's kind of squished looking. There's another bronchiole there. Another one there. So these are what you're looking for, okay? These are the bronchioles that you're trying to be focusing on. not, for example, what we see down here, which is probably a vein, given how small this layer is. So I just want to make sure that you can tell the difference between those two when you're looking at these, so you don't take pictures of and focus on the wrong thing.
Would they always be as big, like that?
Yeah, yeah, good question. So relatively speaking, they're always going to be bigger than, say, like what you see in the outer environment. But I mean, if you look over here, this is a fairly small bronchiole too, right? You can kind of get into other layers of like bronchioles, but in general, bronchioles are like relatively small. So you'll sometimes get ones that are like really huge, and that's not really one that we'd test you on. We'd want to fit it all on the screen, so you can actually like see what you're looking at, if that makes sense. But yeah, you will see variation in size in general. Okay, any other questions?